When we look at this picture, we can immediately tell the difference between the men who are taking their life seriously versus the men who are not taking their life seriously. And so if you are a man 30 plus and you've waken up and decided that you are now going to start taking your life seriously, I have here the first 5 moves men 30 plus need to start taking their life seriously. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And again, it doesn't matter which stage of life that you are at, this is going to apply to you. This is universal and fundamental. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first one, you must define a clear vision. This is the very first and most important move that you need to take if you are trying to take your life serious. Why? Having a clear vision for your life. I don't care if it's for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or even if you're more advanced, 6 months to a year plus. Having that vision is going to give you direction. If you got into your car and you just started driving, you're going to end up any and everywhere. That's not how we're attacking life. How we attack life when we take it seriously, we have a destination in mind. And that's exactly what your vision is going to do. Once you have that vision, your vision is going to allow you to create goals. And those goals are going to give you an action plan. That action plan is going to shape routines. So you have to remember, no vision equals no direction. So again, once you have that vision, now we can start, because all we're doing is reverse engineering it to find out what our goals are, to find out what actions do we have to take in order to complete those goals. Once we have those actions, we understand, okay, I need to take these actions either daily, weekly, or monthly in order to attain the goals, which is going to obtain the vision. Do you understand? This is why I always say that you have to have a clear vision. And again, if you need help with the vision, make sure you wait on the wait list in the description. That way, when I create it and I drop it, you're the first person to get it. So that's the first move. The second move that you must make in order to start taking your life more seriously is you must monitor your inputs. See, most guys are going to tell you that the moment you realize you have to change your life, you immediately have to get up and you have to start doing push-ups and all that other stuff. How many of us have been guilty of that, where we know that we need to change everything? And so the first thing that we start doing is start doing a whole bunch of random positive quote unquote actions that sound or look good, only to find out within 1 day, 3 days, 5 days later, all of a sudden it's going down the drain and we're right back where we started. Well, of course, because again, the first thing, we didn't define a clear vision. And number two, we didn't monitor your inputs. Now, I've said this before, but again, I'm going to say it again. You are what I call a deciding factor. The deciding factor between going to the higher version of yourself, which you created in your vision, or the deciding factor if you're going to the lower version of yourself, which already exists because it was built by your negative habits. That's the deciding factor. And so in order to understand the enemy, which is the lower version of yourself, the bad habits that you are taking, you must monitor the actions that it is taking. That way you understand how to avoid it in the future. So start monitoring what you do on an average day, especially what you do when you have free time. This is going to help you understand the distractions that you have in your life and identify the actions that don't yield any positive results. How many times have you caught yourself scrolling 3-4 hours on social media, wasting 4 or 5 hours on Netflix, things that don't actually matter? Now, again, these things have their place, but when we start taking our life seriously, we're going to realize that, okay, instead of taking 4 hours to play video games, instead of taking 5 hours doing a whole bunch of actions that don't yield a positive result, let me shave that down to 30 minutes, to 1 hour, to 2 hours, and then use the remaining time that I would have wasted. Instead of that, I'm going to invest it into the vision that I have for myself. Because again, once you have that clear vision, you automatically know what you should and should not be doing. So number two is you have to monitor your inputs. You have to understand what are the things that you are doing that's not contributing to the higher version of yourself, but instead is contributing to the lower version of yourself. That's going to move us on to step three. The third move that men 30 plus need to make to start taking their life seriously is auditing your circle. This is huge. Now that we know which actions don't support us or our future, we can see who around us enables that behavior or influences us to stop taking positive actions. I remember I told my friend, he said, "Yeah, man, I want to start taking my money seriously. I want to start budgeting. I want to start doing these things." And then he was hearing me. He was hearing me through the conversation. He's like, yeah, man, that's a good idea. I'm happy for you, blah, blah, blah. And then not even 20, 30 minutes later, he's suggesting that we go out to eat. And I'm thinking, bro, you just heard me say that I'm trying to cut back on spending and cut back on going out to eat and start cooking my own meals. Yet 30 minutes later, here he is telling me that, man, let's go out to eat, let's go out to eat, let's go out to eat. That tells me alone that this person is more in favor of the lower version of myself and is not in support of the higher version of myself. And that's completely okay. That's his decision. But it's my decision to say, okay, I need to start taking less. I need to start taking away time, attention, and energy away from this quote unquote friend because he's not trying to help me or support me in the going to the positive direction of which I am going to. And it's not his job to. It's my job to figure out, is this the right person that needs to be in my life right now? And so you are the same way. Also, when I was working with somebody who was trying to stop smoking, we went through his friend group and found out that 80% of his friends were smokers. So if you've been around people who are drinkers or who are smokers, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to do that alone, especially when it's you two. They're going to try to peer pressure you. So whether you're taking a break or you're trying to quit for good, you're always going to have that negative influence that's going to push you. Oh, come on, man, just one puff, man. Oh, come on, man, it's just one drink. Oh, come on, man, it's this, that, and a third. Again, these people don't want to see you grow. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you live in the version of yourself that you are ultimately trying to create. And I want to reiterate this point. It's not their job to see you do that. It's not their job. However, it's up to you to realize that this person doesn't want to see you go in the direction to which you want to go. So it's up to you to either cut these people off for good or spend as little time with them as possible. That way you don't have enough time to be drinking or smoking or doing all the negative habits that pushes you towards your lower version of yourself. So you have to audit your circle, because your circle is either going to accelerate your growth or they're going to sabotage it. And if you are not man enough to either reduce the time or sacrifice that friendship, you will pay the price for it. So that's number 3. Number 4, and this is something that I think the majority of my audience really needs to buckle down on, is getting serious about money. This isn't trying to sell you some type of get rich quick scheme. I'm saying that we already are looking at what we're doing now. Most men make excuses when it comes to their money. A lack of budget, a lack of knowledge to play the money game, a lack of dedication to work more or make more money. They don't have this type of seriousness about them that they need to have in order to start taking their life serious. Because when you start taking your life seriously, you're going to realize that there are different areas of your life that you have to invest in. That way it aligns with the successful character that is in your mind. If we look at the screen right now, each one of these individuals has a completely different wardrobe. Wardrobe costs money. Some of these people have nice haircuts. Some of these people don't. Getting a haircut costs money, right? And again, I could go forth and so on and so on. Investing in yourself and being able to live the character that you're trying to live is going to cost money. And unless you are serious about your finances, that thing will never never happen. So again, we have to start asking ourselves, what is our budget? Do we know how to budget? If we don't have the knowledge, if we don't know, then that's when we go and we start looking up free content. Nobody's saying you have to buy a course. Nobody's saying you have to buy books. With the internet and chat GPT and the AI, we have so many resources at our disposal to where we can look at our finances and create a budget. Now, the next one might be a little bit more harder, which is a lack of knowledge to play the money game. Whether you do or don't know, if you go to my description, I had a course that I made a long time ago for $100 that explained the full money game. How do you go from broke to living with some money, to having more money, to having assets and investments, and playing the money game to where you don't have to work at all? Most people did not have that financial foundation because it wasn't taught to them. I had to go through so many trial and errors, bought so many courses, got through so many mentors just to get the information that I have in that course. So if you want that course, you go ahead and get that. But like I said, you can easily study for, I don't know how long it's going to take you, a month, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, whatever, to get that information yourself and figure it out. But most men don't take the time, attention, and energy and actually try to see what in the world is going on when it comes to making money. And that moves on to the next one, which is the lack of dedication to work more. Most of the guys who tell me they don't have money, they're not working 50, 60 hours a week. They're working 35, 25, maybe even their mid 40. Bro, I don't know who needs to tell you this, but if you're a person that has no money, you have no savings, you have to increase that workload. You have to put everything off to the side and dedicate every waking hour to working to get yourself out of that water. And here's the real problem, because it's not about working. It's about men actually not being comfortable in their place. A lot of men are comfortable in their place. They're comfortable being broke. They're comfortable being fat. They're comfortable being single. They're comfortable in all the other things. And they're like, you know what? I would rather stay here and deal with the consequences of this instead of actually trying and having to deal with the effects of working 60 hours a week plus. All right. So let me say this. Financial freedom is a discipline game. Okay. Learn it or stay stuck. So that's number 4. And let's go ahead and go into the last one, the 5th move that men 30 plus need to make to start taking their life seriously, which is joining a brotherhood or a community. You have to get around like-minded people. And if you've never been a part of a brotherhood, if you've never been a part of a community, I can't communicate the value, the vast amount of value that it has. But if any of you have ever been a part of an active community or an active brotherhood of people who are chasing one thing, you know that it makes a huge difference. A lot of my clients had made groundbreaking progress, not because of their own willpower, and they told me this out of their own mouth, different clients. They said, I knew that I was going to have to face you in the community, and I didn't want to show up a failure. So it pushed them to go outside of their comfort zone. They would have never have taken that leap of faith by themselves, but because the community wants better for them and they're showing up with their wins, these people are going to motivate you to say, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and do that. So again, community is for people who are serious, because everyone can see when you don't complete an action, or if you try to hide it by not showing up. Not showing up, we kind of understand what's going on, bro. Especially if you didn't say anything. We know that you didn't complete the action. We know that you chose laziness. We know that you got comfortable with the worst version of yourself. We understand that. And then on top of that, we're going to check on you. We're going to say, hey man, what's going on? Right. And then listen, you can't not text us back. You have that option. But again, it's like what you're doing every time that you don't complete an action for the community or for yourself. What you're saying is, I am completely and utterly comfortable being in the dysfunction that I was trying to run away from. And this is where we get to figure out who you really are. Now, again, communities are not going to judge you for failing. In fact, most of us don't care. But what it does, it allows you to hold up a mirror to yourself to say, this is who I am. Am I okay with that? And when I get guys and I sit them down and we have a safe space, a vulnerable space, and I ask them, are you okay with who you are currently? The answer 95% of the time is no. And so if that answer is no, we have to figure out the actions, because remember, masculine equals results. We have to figure out the logical actions, the logical next steps that's going to take you from where you are to exactly where you want to be. And most of you, I put a poll up earlier today, most of you are saying you have a discipline and a consistency problem. If you have a discipline and a consistency problem, you have a problem with self-accountability. Listen, a lot of people have problems with self-accountability. This is why you join communities, because these people will also hold you accountable. And I don't know about you, but some people operate to where they can let themselves down because they let themselves down damn near their whole life. But when it comes to other people letting other people down, for some reason that energy comes back and they say, I can't let that happen. This is the reason why we have brotherhood and community, okay? So like I said, it reveals who's really holding you back from success. It's not a lack of resources. It's not other people. It's simply because you. A strong brotherhood holds you accountable, sharpens your thinking, and keeps you moving forward. And that's why I'm going to be dropping a community soon to get a bunch of us together. That way we can start making the real gains that actually matter, okay? So look out for that. That's going to start, that's going to drop soon. So listen, that was the first 5 moves men 30 plus need to start taking to take their life seriously. Okay. Let me know which step that you're on or that you need help with in the comments, and I'll answer you back. All right. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with me for this long, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.